Hi everyone, it's Kasia from Tarot Map. I'm finally getting better, still a little bit off after I got sick, but I'm a little bit late on the 31 Days of Tarot challenge, and I don't want to miss out because I keep watching all the videos and they are amazing. So I decided to play along, and gather a few days together. This video is going to cover day 12 till day 17, so till today. That means I'm not going to be late anymore. So let's go ahead. Also, I wanted to mention that I received yesterday this amazing gift from Oya's Girl from Queen Osset. You can check her video, you can check her YouTube channel down below. I'm going to link her up. And this mud cloth she sent me, it's everything. It's so beautiful. And to me, this is connected to this particular weaver, to Dusk. And I love how all-inclusive she is, but to go through her initiation, to go through the dark cave and through initial rite of dying or death, she's a very powerful ancestral goddess. So that's quite amazing. So thank you so much, Queen Osset, for that. I love it. So day 12. So what started me reading tarot? Well, here I have to say that, I was brought up in Poland, and only since I was 14 there was a change from communism to democracy. So when I was younger there was not much out in the shops really, but I was always drawn to natural medicine, to like esoteric, to tarot decks. And when I was studying at my uni, I went to Germany, and they had these amazing bookshops there with everything, and I spoke German at this time, obviously. And so on my first tarot deck, I was just walking around that bookshop, and I remember cruising around these bookshops and, like really checking out all the decks that I could put my hands on. And in the end, I remember choosing this deck as my favorite tarot deck that I, saw in that time. You can see how worn it is. And recently something beautiful happened to me, where this is the Kazanla Tarot. It's out of print right now. I bought it in 1998 or something like that. But I missed 2 cards because then this deck traveled. It was given to my friend and she gave it back to me, and so on and so forth. So in the end, when I got it, it was missing 2 cards. And recently some beautiful lady from IG saw that I'm missing 2 cards out of this deck, and she actually had also an unfull deck, and she sent me these 2 cards that I was missing. So thank you again as well. This tarot community is just mind-blowing, I think. Well, to me at least, that's my experience. I really appreciate you all. And so this is the Kazanla Tarot that got me reading tarot. That's how I learned, first of all. But I remember it was a little bit too maybe esoteric for me in the beginning, even though I was very interested in it. But I didn't have a teacher. It was in German. It was a little bit, scary and mysterious. I wasn't sure, like, how to read it. So I wasn't, like, reading, but it was definitely a deck I was constantly, every day playing with, trying to do spreads, learning, reading, and stuff like that. I picked this deck because in my Sagittarius fashion, it connected different religions. So it's mostly Christianity, there is Hinduism, Egyptian religion, and Islamic kind of depictions. So yeah, Kazanla Tarot, my first tarot deck. And then after this I was gifted this beautiful deck, Zen Osho Tarot, from my sister. It's also an oldie and goodie. This one I edged it because it was also very kind of worn, but I used it since 2001. I think I got it 2001 or 2002, I can't remember. So it's still a different paper to what it's being printed now, and I think it has a little bit different color I love that it's not so saturated with color. There's one card that I kind of ripped in half, or was ripped in half by a friend of mine, and yeah, I had to sort it out, so I just put some sticky tape on it. But yeah, this deck is amazing. I really love it. It's one of those decks that I still feel it's never getting old. It's one of the decks that this one, you see. Yeah. But yeah, this deck is amazing, and I think that's what really got me into tarot, that I saw that you can use tarot in more of a spiritual evolutionary way, not only that predictive way, which, for example, the Kazanla tarot suggested to me more. Okay, so day 13. Day 13 is what was your best, worst, memorable moment for 2017. I think for me it was opening my Etsy shop, and also doing a lot of readings in 2017 for people, so kind of going professional really, and realizing how much tarot can actually tell us about people, how much when you read for strangers and get the feedback, how helpful these readings can be, and how much astrology and tarot work in cooperation together, and how much I love to mix these two together. So this is something which I love to develop, which I love to fine-tune, which I love to develop more and more and evolve in 2018 as well. Day 14 is share your favorite divination tool aside from tarot. I actually have seen recently Kelly's video on Ogham, and I remember being really interested in Ogham maybe 4 years ago when I got this. I can't even tell you. I know it. I bought it from Etsy from the UK, but I just can't remember now even the name. I don't have any, because it was really many years ago. And this is an Ogham set made from all the particular tree connected to the certain Ogham. So it's really beautiful, and I remember, let's just make it closer. I remember purchasing this book by Glennie Kindred, and she is really an amazing writer, and it's like kind of handwritten book, and it's on Ogham, and I really love this book. It tells you how to even make your own Ogham sticks, what you can do, and then takes you through all the Ogham trees. So the birch, it gives you the name and the symbol, and then it kind of gives you some keywords and describes like what's the underlying energy of the birch is. And I know that Little Red Tarot sells, this one was $5.99. Little Red Tarot sells Glennie's book in her shop, so I don't know if she's got the Ogham one, but you can check it out. And this is what I remember that I was trying to make my own Oghams. So here is how that set looks. Comes with the symbol and comes with the particular tree from which it's supposed to be made. And what's cool about my set also, it has those little holes, so you can wear it as a pendant. And I think that's why I liked it so much. So this is really nice. If I find where I bought it, I will link it below, but I seriously doubt it now because it was many years ago. So yeah, that Ogham, I never used it as a divination per se, but more as, like mirroring kind of what's happening, what tree I can connect to. And I love trees, so I always was kind of about this. And also, the regular, beside tarot, I love oracles, and I love Lenormands as well. So this is the Sacred Mandala Lenormand by Heather Mendel. These are the backs, and they have each mandala and then just a pure symbol of a card. So quite easy, to read when you put them. It's a bit of a glare now, but when you put them out, it's very simple. You have the clouds, dog, So you can help yourself energetically if you're sensitive to this type of pictures, but also a simple symbol of Lenormand. And this is the Syzygy oracle, also by Heather Mendel. I just pulled them out to have an example. So this is an oracle of major arcanas of tarot, and also of the Sephiroths. So it's more Kabbalistic. And I love this oracle too. So yes, Lenormand oracles, Ogham, playing cards. And also I think I love using crystals, just pure crystals, for gaining communication and messages as well. I'm sensitive to the stones. So this is a weaver wand that I have made recently. And yeah, she's still kind of wanting a keeper, and she was inspired by the Weaver's oracle. I don't know why this camera doesn't work. So yeah, and the Weaver wand also quite beautiful. It's got this little kind of like pinnies and the stones. So yeah, I'm kind of going for this too. And then Day 15. Do you have a deck for personal use only? You know what? I actually don't. I'm kind of... I was trying to have this one special, nobody else touches it but me. But I think I'm not wired like this. I'm never scared of people. I'm never scared of people's energy. I just don't operate with this fear-based stuff. I never was scared to swap decks. I just don't do that. So I tried to get that Tarot of Transformation to be my deck, personal deck, but it just turned into one of those decks that is my specific deck. I very often use it for this communication with my higher self, and that's kind of, I love it for that. But I did use it for people's readings, and so no, it's not, I don't have this deck. Do I read reversals? And I had to laugh because I was watching the Peculiar Daughter channel, which I love. I will link it below as well. Deborah's channel, it's really cool. She's a newcomer, and I think she deserves to be watched. I love her videos. So she was kind of saying the same. I was actually taught, because then after I started to learn by myself, at some point in 2014 I went to a tarot course here in Poland with a very good teacher, and I was taught to read with reversals. So in the beginning, when I was studying for maybe 2 years, I was reading with reversals, and I still sometimes do, especially when I get clients who are very predictive oriented, because then I just go, okay, you just want prediction, there you go. And then the reversals help me a lot to narrow even more the answers from the cards. But at some point I stopped reading reversals for myself, and I think it doesn't make necessary, like it's not necessary to read reversals, especially when you read tarot, how I read tarot, which is more to as an advice, so you always get both sides of the cards. I also don't believe that each card has, there is one card which is only bad. I think all the cards have plus and minus side, and I always address the spectrum. And sometimes the neighboring cards really tell you what, meaning you can go for. So let's just see if the tarot will give us something. So for example, like here, for example, if we have these two cards together, so we have 10 of swords and 2 of swords, we can definitely go into the shadow aspect of these 2 cards. But then we get the Ace of Wands, and also from how Enriquez taught me to read when I was learning with him to read Pips, you have a diminishing kind of energetical pattern. So you go from 10 to the ace. So depending on the question and on the context, you might be releasing, you know, that pressure to go from 10 to 2 to 1. So this is also, you know, there's so many different ways to read cards, and I think reversals, in my personal opinion, I don't read them. And also looking at the card this way, I often buy tarot because of the artwork. I love the art of tarot, so reading reversals just at some point started to annoy me, because I always was trying to put the cards on the right side up. And the last question is, draw, paint or sketch your favorite tarot card. So this one I changed a little bit. I actually was drawing a little bit when I lived in Australia, and I thought I'm just going to show you what I drew, some of the paintings and what they could be. So for example, I drew this at some point. This is so old. And I thought, you know, that definitely could be Chiron. It was for me an inspiration of how it is to be a Sagittarius. But so it could be a Temperance, or to me, when I look at it like first glance, it could be a Chariot card also, really, you know, focused, acting from the head and from the heart, you know, that instinctual nature and that human nature connected, and the wings, and just go for it. So that could be Chariot. I thought that this could be maybe a Wheel of Fortune, when you have this Ouroboros and the eye all there watching, and the moon and the sun and all the signs. Thought maybe this could be like a World card, you know, the cycle, the happy family, or maybe Judgment even, with these people like kind of going off. This I also painting as my astrology kind of, you know, I have, and I'm a Sagittarius, then I have Leo ascendant, I have North Node in Scorpio, and I have Moon in Libra, and this kind of umbilical connection between Moon and Sun and the planets. Yeah, I was off with the fairies. This could be maybe a Goddess, the Empress card, you know. Why not? Very kind of woo. And as you see, I always liked what is it, that shiny thing, glitter. And that maybe could be a devil, like a female representation, but kind of staring back at you, you know, and showing off your fears and stuff. That was never finished, this painting. So yeah, that would be my cards for that prompt. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will speak to you soon. Bye!